He was a guy who was asking all the questions, and on SNL he was the guy in the mirror, like, "Hi."
Mm.
Remember that skit? Where like, "Hi, how are you?" Kind of skit. Very no, Udite. Oh, you have a question.
This is my truth.
Okay.
I've never sat and watched a full SNL episode.
Welcome back to Grown Folks Talking. I'm your host, CK Season, with my special co-host.
Lola Chanel.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the new Netflix show, The Residents. Hit that like and subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all the new content that we're putting out, because a lot of great stuff is coming down the pipeline. Lola, a synopsis of The Residents.
All right. So, episode 1, The Fall of the House of Usher. At a congressional hearing, the story of a mysterious White House death and the brilliant detective hired to crack the case begins to unfold. Dun, dun,
That's it.
dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun.
dun. Ah,
That's it?
that's it. That's all.
Oh,
I've learned I'm going to have to find somewhere else because IMDb is not credible.
oh,
It's
okay.
credible, but it's just like actually Netflix gives you the
A
synopsis. So
better one.
let's see where we get. First of all, didn't know that this was a Shondaland production.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I did. I
I
saw,
don't know how I
I
missed
think in
that.
the social media. I follow Netflix account and then Strong Black Lead, which is another
Strong
Netflix
black
account.
lead is I think I don't know if that's still like I feel like it's yeah. Oh no, that's the name of it. At a congressional hearing. Yeah, okay, that's the right one.
All right,
Okay.
all
The
right.
people.
And it stars the lady from Orange is the New
Uzo
Black.
Adoba. And
Yeah,
Miss Uzo. The lady that you are, I love Uzo Adoba. I love
yeah,
her. I love
yeah.
her. All the things.
I'm
Give her the
happy. I'm
things.
happy to see her back on TV. It's been a long time, for me,
I feel like
probably
I
since Orange.
just no, she's done something. She's done another show. I
Okay.
just can't think of what. I know I watched it. I know I watched
It'll
it.
come to you at
It
the end of this
it
podcast.
it'll hit me. So we have the top cast on here is Uzo, Giancarlo,
Esposito, yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
start with the black folks.
Okay.
Susan Kelechi Watson,
Yeah, from This Is
Isaiah
Us.
Whitlock Jr., Al
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell, and there was somebody else. Nope, that was it. Okay, but those are the main black characters, and then there's Molly Griggs, Kim Marino, Randall Park, who was on J Hud today, Jason
Yeah, about
Lee,
his spirit tunnel.
Jason Lee, and Dan Peralt.
Okay. I was gonna another people on there was Bronson Pinchot, who was the cook or the pastry chef. This show does a callback to
Bronson
older.
Pichot.
Yeah, I know him from a show before your time, back in my
Because
day,
I was
called
so
Perfect
finna say
Stranger.
booty tank.
Perfect Strangers. He played Balky.
Mhm.
And it was a sitcom on ABC, and he was from a foreign country, and he moved in with his cousin.
Oh.
And so it was on for several seasons. He was also on Beverly Hills Cop. I think his first start was Beverly Hills Cop with Axel Foley, and he was like Axel. He played like a gay character. And on that in that movie, the very first, okay, booty shake, fine. The people,
Was he in the most
yes,
recent
they
movie?
brought him back. They brought him back. It was a wink and a nod to folks who remember the first one. They brought him back.
Oh, okay, so I wouldn't have. I barely
Yeah,
made it through that movie too. We'll talk about that later.
yeah. But for Giancarlo Esposito, amazing. It was a great first episode. We'll talk
Oh,
about the first two episodes. Great first
amazing
episode.
first episode.
And I was happy to see him. Like, he opens the show, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Giancarlo Esposito, great character actor.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him from School Days. He played
Yes.
the guy.
Yes.
All right, and then he's been in
You
The
got me with the black
Mandalorian.
stuff.
Yeah, okay. He was in The Mandalorian.
Was it The Mandalorian?
Or was it?
No.
It was the other Star Wars
It
property.
Hold on. Oh, hold on. We're gonna
While
grab
you look
it.
that up, I believe he was in not Better Call or Breaking Bad.
He was in Breaking Bad.
Okay, which I didn't see. And he was in, most recently, I saw him in the Netflix heist Kaleidoscope.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. So, a good series where you can watch it in different orders, different things like that. So,
it was like the pink, blue, whatever it was,
yes,
something like that.
Yes.
He was in something else.
If it wasn't The Mandalorian, was it the other one? Because he was pivotal at the end. Anywho, so when he died, I was like, oh no. I was gonna spend time for you, but happy for the
I was about to say, I think the flashbacks made up for him actually dying because because we know I finished it. And once I get to a binge, I'm gonna finish it. So I'm gonna try and stay on episodes 1 and 2. But once we go through the flashbacks, you see more of him, you get more of him. So it's not like, damn, y'all just killed my man's off and didn't even give him a chance.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah. One note is all the titles are either books, like The Fall of House of Usher. I believe that's Edgar Allan Poe. Dial M for Murder is another title. I believe that's they're book titles, if my memory serves me. So random.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like a little wink and a nod. We've seen this type of storytelling where it's a murder. It's a whodunit, like they're coming back.
A very Clue. Knives Out.
Clue,
Yeah.
Knives Out. Glass Onion, a Knives Out property.
Glass Onion was good.
I love it where someone's dead. You got to
figure out. And it was so okay. When I say that this was like, like every time, every like little, it's very captivating because you're like, she did it. And then you're like,
no.
Did she do it? No, he did it. And then it's like,
everybody's a murderer. Going to Uzo Adoba and her character, which is the typical TV detective in this genre, wearing brown, which head to toe
in her tweed.
In her tweed, yeah, it reminded me of Columbo back before my time, where he always wore a brown coat and he was quirky.
Yeah.
Monk was another. I thought of Monk because he always wore brown and he was super like germaphobe and touchy things.
Yeah, for me right now, it was giving Will Trent.
Yes, more recently,
Will Trent.
So this type of storytelling will never go away. The whodunit part is the new part, or we're rehashing that with the clue. But the whole somebody's dead, there's an eccentric detective trying to figure it out will always
so good.
Murder, She Wrote, and they'll solve the crime by the end. Rarely will I ever figure it out. It's some random hair that was the clue.
First of all, I have to act like I only watch episodes 1 and 2.
Okay.
That's gonna be the challenge for tonight. Is me acting like I haven't seen the other 6 episodes.
And she's super smart. That's another trope. Is she's super smart, just like Columbo, Will Trent, like all these other people.
Uh,
The one difference is she is a black woman.
she is a black woman, and them folks that that man came in and he was like, where is he? Like, he was like,
Mm-hmm.
she's down, she's on site, and
Yeah,
they go to the window. She,
very what? Yes,
the hell is she doing?
right. So once again, Shonda, although this is her property, but she's not the showrunner. I don't remember if I'm mistaken,
Let's
but
see who the showrunner is.
she has to prove that she's highly capable of doing her job, despite naysayers, aka the men all around her. If you noticed, episode one, she was the only female amongst all these men.
Mm-hmm. She said, "Great,
Trying.
another dude. Why are there so many dudes?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what? Why is there so many dudes?"
Yes, in this space, and proving her ability. So real life, winking a nod. Episode two, she could is trying. She's interviewing. That's when she's interviewing
Mm-hmm.
everybody. She talked to the president of Australia, and yes, with the names and then you realize there are no reliable witnesses.
There are no reliable witnesses. She's like, who? Okay, so you had said that she was here and then he was there, but you also did not see her over there. It, the first man, she just sat down and
That was the
she,
best.
he was like, and she was like, and he just started rambling, and I was like, that's how people get caught. Because
Absolutely.
why you doing all that talking? Why you doing all that talking?
She had not said a
She
word.
ain't asked you. All she said was write your name, your title, write
Mm-hmm.
it down, and hold it up so I could take a picture. He said, so you have wanted to know where he was and where I was. See, was not near him, but I had seen him with her and him, and they had said cuss words. That's that's what everybody was giving. That's what everybody
Right.
was giving.
Right. Great. Uh Hilarity. And then I was surprised that they really got can't get you out of my head. That lady for
Yeah,
Kylie Minogue. I was surprised. I was like, oh,
but they
we got some
wouldn't.
stars.
They talked about who were they talking
Hugh,
about?
Hugh Jackman.
But we never saw. So it wasn't really Hugh.
Yeah. So
I
that
was
was
like,
surprising. I was just like, you got Kylie. Hugh couldn't
the
come in for a day.
budget. He either the budget wasn't there or his schedule just didn't align.
Didn't line up. Very true.
It didn't. It
Very
didn't. The showrunner is Paul William Davies. Do you want to go
yeah.
through the writers for the first two episodes?
Sure.
I just can't. Okay, so for the first episode, the fall of the House of Usher,
Mm-hmm.
Paul William Davies, because this is the creator, he's also
Yeah.
the showrunner,
Mm-hmm.
and Kate Anderson Browser, because this is inspired by the book, like you said, The
Mm-hmm.
Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, that was a major guess. Uh, oh, that it was inspired by. I just saw the name and I was like, oh, that is Netflix has another show where it's the yeah, I think it's called The Fall of House of Usher, and it's like 8 series, and they modernize that Edgar Allan Poe book. So kind of a guess. So the show I would say is a mix of Whodunit, Scandal with the
Mm-hmm.
committee, and a little wink and a nod having the Al Franken, who is a former congressman, as well as he was on SNL for a number of years. He was a guy who was asking all the questions, and on SNL he was the guy in the mirror, like, "Hi,
Mm.
remember that skit? We're like, hi, how are you?" Kind of skit. Very no booty tay. Oh, you have a question?
I just, this is my truth.
Okay.
I've never sat and watched a full SNL episode.
Wow. Oh, even when they're black hosts,
No. I see the clips on
the funny clips,
Instagram,
and then you move on.
Twitters. I know the viral moments. Never
And then,
watched the full episode. Hey, this is just my truth, okay? I just never sat down. I just never. I know I have free will now that I'm older, but I don't want to now.
okay, well,
I might one
moving
day.
on. Okay,
I'm gonna just smile and nod. Sorry,
smiling up,
I know
smiling
what
up.
you're talking about, and I'll be ready.
Okay, well, we talked about Bronson Pinchot being old school face
Hmm.
that some people may remember, and then another old school person was the president's mom.
I know her.
That's Jane Curtin.
I know
She
her.
put she was
That's
on
a white lady I've
SNL,
watched.
and she was a cast member of SNL back in the day, and she also had a series called sitcom called Kate and Allie that I watched. And then Jason Lee, who you mentioned, he was in My Name is Earl. He had that sitcom on NBC way back in the day.
There's something else that I know him from. He does a lot of voiceover acting, and that's why I
Mm-hmm.
know. I was like, ah, I'm familiar with you. I'm
With that,
familiar
yeah,
with you.
his characters reminded me like I don't care and everybody's
His
laissez
character,
faire.
his character, his character throughout the entirety of it all. I was just like, oh, this is gonna be interesting with him.
Mm-hmm. Cool,
He's
cool.
he's he's very funny. He's very
Oh, is he?
funny, but also very. All of these characters are unhinged. Like there's
Mm.
nobody in here that you're just like you're sane. None of them are sane. None of
Mm-mm,
them are
mm-mm.
sane. Not Uzo. not
Of course.
not. It is
The
just
lady on the congressional committee who she was in an ABC sitcom as well, the white lady. She was like, "So you mean to tell me all this was going on?" And she was looking at trying to
yeah.
find birds like that. She was funny.
And Eliza Coop.
Yes, that's
Eliza
her.
Coop.
Yeah, she was on like a it's not Friends, but we're trying to piggyback on the Friends idea with seven
Happy
people.
endings.
Thank you. I was like, it's blue. I could not remember the name of that show.
Happy endings. I might watch it. I yeah.
Not gonna watch it. No, she's funny on it, but no reason. There's
It's
plenty of
not.
other content
It
to
looks
watch.
like it gives How I Met Your Mother more than Friends.
Yes, true. Yeah,
From the
yeah.
artwork. Is that a Wayans?
Yep. He was on
That
there
is a
too.
Wayans. I think.
I think
Yeah.
they were a couple.
Oh.
Yeah, on the show. If I
Oh.
remember, yeah, if I remember correctly. I didn't watch it too. I watched a couple episodes and then I dipped out. So anyway, another way the show is kind of interesting is that it's at the White House, and so you have that umbrella of we politics entering a murder case. So having to be quiet and tiptoe and not tell because you got two political
Foreign
people,
diplomats in there.
foreign diplomats. Yeah.
I was like, and you know what? If somebody did die at the White House, we probably would never know.
Mm-hmm.
We would never know. She wouldn't have
Absolutely.
been brought in because somebody made it look like a suicide. We sweep that under.
Completely.
And he was the help. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, the
Yeah.
the back and forth of it all, the writing, the little nuggets, the sequence of how it's going, how we're getting information, but also having to go back because it's like a flashback because she's like as she's doing her walkthrough because of course she has to do her walkthrough.
Mm-hmm.
We see her like taking everything in, but we don't see what she's taking in until like
That's true.
3 episodes later. Okay, I'm sorry. I only watched 2 episodes.
I watch you watch show, but yeah, the last in episode 2 where she's surveying the audience, I was like, oh, you're like a bird, you're like a falcon.
Yes,
She has that line about, so she's looking at everything.
everything is about the
Um,
birds.
uh, yeah, which is hard because there's 200 witnesses now or 200 guests, and
So
then
the
the
residence,
staff.
132 rooms, 157 suspects, one dead body.
Mm,
Dun,
okay.
dun, dun.
So my question is, since you already know who the killer is, I am thinking the killer is not any of the guests. I think the killer is someone he knows,
Mm,
who
do you
who
know?
knows him, someone who he has worked with. I don't think it's the guests, but I think the guests have. There's a guest may know one part of the puzzle, and another guest may know a different part of the puzzle, and then you just have to. She has to rearrange who's whose perspective is correct,
Mm-hmm.
and how can I suss out who this killer is. So
This entire thing is hilarious. One,
mhm.
and then second, it's just like, but wait, I didn't even notice. Wait, go back, go back, go
Hmm.
back, go back.
Like the shirt when she said, "Oh, you're wearing AB's shirt" to
Mm-hmm.
the ambassador, the Australian ambassador, and I was like, "Well, how'd you pull that?" And
I was
she
like,
goes, "It was too
it
loose on."
was no, it was too snug. So
No.
AB's shirt was too loose, and the
Mm-hmm.
foreign diplomats was too snug. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, and I know the cut and model of your suit. And he,
Yep. And she pulled it. And she was like, AB's character, he likes things tidy, he likes things neat. There's no way he's gonna wear a suit that's not perfectly fitted to him. And I was like, you're absolutely right.
no way at
As a
all.
viewer, I wouldn't have noticed that. But
Hello, I would have been. She would have got me because I would have been like, "What? How
hmm
you know, girl? How you hadn't known it?"
for real. I also don't think it's the cook who said I'm gonna kill you, AB, because that's too obvious.
I didn't like
So
her
that's
character.
no.
Mm-mm.
Why so?
She just didn't do it for me. I didn't like her monologue. And I'm gonna kill you. I was like, But for
Mm.
the satire of it all, I understood why she was that animated and that just like, ah!
Right.
But
I'm trying
as
to
you
spin you out.
go along with
hmm
it, like as you go along with it, it's just like, this is genius. Who wrote this shit?
My question for you, and then we can wind it down because do they leave the residence? Is it all like are the flashbacks and is it the residence and then the congressional meeting? Are those the only two set pieces? And like outside, do we know? Will we know anything about her as a person? Because
No,
that's one thing. Okay.
no.
Ask and answer.
She presents as a literally a bird loving nomad. We don't get
Mm,
anything about her love life. We see she nods to a family member, but it's not. It's this series in which I learned it's a mini series, so we're not getting anything beyond this. So we don't need to know about her life.
okay.
This is strictly about who done it,
This case, who done it?
who killed AB Winters,
Nice, nice.
how
All
many
right.
people killed AB Winters.
Oh, ooh, I
Dun
thought
dun
about that.
dun.
Like, what if somebody
Are there multiple
started with
killers?
multiple killers, and this is really an accident? Just so happened he was at the wrong place at the right time.
Mm.
But I will keep going because it's fun, it's light, it's intriguing, great characters, great writing, great storytelling, and that.
It was
Uh,
overall across the board gets
mhm.
his things for me. Now here we are again, once more in the game where I don't trust these people down to the IMDb. What would you rate this episode 1?
I would rate it like a 10, 9,
I
10.
would
I,
give
I
it
don't.
I would give it a 9. The people down to the IMDb's gave it a 7. I'm just starting to believe that you folks down to the IMDb are anti-black.
Mm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 What about episode 2?
Episode 2, because we didn't even do the synopsis for that one. So, episode 2 is Dial M for Murder. From
Mm.
celebrities and cabinet members to plumbers and pastry chefs, everyone is in the hot seat as Cordelia conducts interviews. And it also got a 7.8.
Yeah.
You guys are anti-black and you cannot tell me otherwise. Clock it. And for me and my house, I'm going to rate this a 10 because you cannot stop me.
Same. Same. I like where we're going. I don't know where we're going, and that makes it all the more fun.
I'm going to watch it again. Matter of fact, I might throw it on tonight, even though I finished it this morning.
Wow. Wow.
Good show,
So
good show,
thanks.
good show.
Good show. We'll be back to talk about episode 3 and 4. Like, subscribe on all the platforms. Bye.